Outriders is not a Destiny killer, and anybody who tells you it is full of. Outriders is just a few days away from finally being released. In fact, it is just 2 days now from being released, basically noon on April the 1st, which is great. I know a lot of us have been looking forward to a new looter shooter. We all have played games like that. Destiny, Diablo, Borderlands, all those things. Those type of games are games that a lot of us consider our bread and butter that we play a lot. However, as the game comes out, there's probably going to be a lot of people who say Outriders is a Destiny killer, or Outriders is the new Destiny, or Outriders is what Destiny wishes it could be. None of that is true, not even to the slightest. And anybody who says that it's true is not telling the truth or doesn't have all the information. So I'm going to go over a few key reasons why Outriders is not trying to compete with Destiny, nor will in any way kill, quote unquote, Destiny. Number one, probably biggest reason of them all is that Outriders will not be a game as a service. To understand what a game as a service is, you have to define it first. What defines a game as a service? A game as a service is something that has plans for going far beyond what you first buy. When you first plop down $60 for a game as a service plans on going a long, long way afterward. When Destiny was first released by Bungie, they planned an entire 10-year cycle for the entire Destiny, what they considered at the time to be a trilogy of games. Games as a service means that you not only have DLC, but there's a really good chance you have microtransactions. You probably have ways that the game will bring in revenue beyond just playing the game in and of itself. The developer wants you to keep playing it far beyond the quote-unquote end of the game. They live for the idea of FOMO, or fear of missing out. Using Destiny as our baseline. Destiny is purely a game as a service. Bungie wants you to play Destiny for as long as humanly possible. They have DLCs in the pipeline they have already planned out. They have DLCs they have already talked to us about. They have regular microtransactions that refresh every week. There are things that you can get bright dust. There are things that you can get with silver. And these things rotate out regularly. At least the things that you can get with bright dust each week rotate out, whether that be shaders or exotic ornaments or ships or whatever. There's a slew of things that you can purchase through microtransactions. The game is free to play, and they lure you in by giving you a full game out the gate that you can play. You can play with your friends. You can play to your heart's content as much as you want. And as you go on, you're probably going to want to pick up the new season. That way you'll stay in the meta for longer. You'll probably want to pick up the DLCs, so you have more game to play, and once again, will stay in the meta longer. You might even want to use $5, $10, $15 so you can get certain skins as well. As more money is poured into the game, the developer has more to develop with. There's more that they can use to continue to create content, to continue to regularly update the game, to change the way it works. Games as a service cost a lot of money to continuously develop. Games as a service cost a lot of money to continuously develop. Outriders is none of that. Outriders has strictly been laid out as not a games as a service. The money that you put up for the game, that's what you get. If you put $60 up front to get the PS5 version of Outriders, that's all you're going to get. It is on the disc. It is on your download. That is the entire game. There will be absolutely no microtransactions because People Can Fly have already said they don't want to do microtransactions. They want to concentrate on the game first and foremost and not paying for new things down the road. If they feel the need to add more DLC, that will be a fourth quarter decision they make longer in its life. Of course, it is a looter shooter, so they want you to keep playing the game. They want you to keep grinding for things. They want you to get new guns. They want you to try out the quote-unquote in-game activities that come later. They want you to try out those things. So there are some similarities between Destiny and Outriders. Does that mean that Outriders wants to be Destiny? Not at all. Outriders is being published by Square Enix while being developed by People Can Fly. It answers to a different group, a completely different group wanting a completely different thing. All of this to say is that Outriders is not a Destiny killer because it's not trying to compete with Destiny. Yes, they want to sell games. Yes, they want to stay in your Xbox or your PlayStation or your PC. They want you to continue to play it. But they are not trying to compete with Destiny. They are trying to develop a great game that people want to play. And that's what they want. That's what they want in and of itself, is to provide you a great game that is polished, DLC, microtransactions, on looking toward the future from the very beginning and planning out a long list of things to do the back end of what make a game as a service. And that is not what Outriders is. So people who tell you that Outriders is a Destiny killer are horribly misinformed. They are not telling you the complete truth. Destiny killer, Outriders is not going to be that at all, and calling it that is just doing it a disservice. Outriders will be its own game, and that's the biggest thing I feel like needs to be addressed, because you're going to see a lot of people say that it's a Destiny killer. You're going to see a lot of people say this is the new Destiny. You're going to see a lot of creators completely drop Destiny for Outriders. They are not the same game. They are not trying to be the same game. And that's admirable. I think Outriders is going to be a lot of fun. I think Destiny is a lot of fun. I think you're going to see a lot of Destiny content creators playing Outriders. Outriders is not trying to be something that Destiny is or Destiny wants to be. Outriders wants to be Outriders, and People Can Fly have made that effortlessly clear through the course of numerous press releases, through the course of press junkets held. I think you'll see a lot of people making comparisons to Outriders and Destiny, and I think that's fair. They do have certain similarities, but they all fall within the base type of game they are. They are looter shooters. You loot and you shoot, and there are many games that do things exactly like that. There's a lot of things to look forward to, and I think that Outriders and Destiny will be able to subsist side by side for as long as they want to. If People Can Fly do choose to create DLC for Outriders later in its life, I don't think that will make it a game as a service. I think it will be additional campaign things that can be tacked on. There's no PvP to worry about. There's no balancing of PvP to PvE. What you see is what you get, and that's refreshing because we don't have a whole lot of games that come out that way anymore. You think about even games from Ubisoft, who also produces a lot of games as a service now, like Division 2, even Odyssey, even Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Those toe the line as games as a service. They have stores where you can buy things to make your experience easier along the way. That, to me, toes the line of what a game as a service is. But that doesn't make it a game as a service, because you can play through the entire game without getting into those things, and it will be no different from you. It will just take a little bit longer. Destiny 100% qualifies as a game as a service because you need the DLC and the season passes to keep up with everyone else who is playing the game, to stay in that meta that they have created, to get the new weapons, to get the new loot, to get the new light levels, to play the new raids. All of those things have to be purchased. That is a game as a service. To get to the new end game, you have to purchase your way there. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a game as a service. In fact, it seems to me that that's how most games will be doing it in the future. And I think a lot of developers are seeing that nowadays. That's why you see a lot more games that can be defined as a game as a service. But People Can Fly have strictly said that Outriders does not want to be that. I'm really excited about it. I'm ready for it to come out. I'm ready to give it my share, and I'm sure that at the same time, while I'm creating content for Outriders, I'll be creating content for Destiny as well. If you want to catch my streams, I am at twitch.tv/Valdemarin. Catch me there every now and then. You can also catch me at twitter.com/Valdemarin as well. Again, thank you guys so much. I love you to death. If you want to continue to see more of my content, please think of hitting that subscribe button, maybe slapping that little bell so you get a notification if I ever put out anything new. I love you to death. Thank you so much for everything. I hope you have a great day. Please be safe, and I'll see you soon.